Okay, so our challenge for last week, let's get into it. Okay, so last week it was all about imagery, and I asked you to share your own subject specific icons and then maybe some scenes as well. That was the major breakdown within the imagery model. Individual icons, which is the best place to start as you're developing your visual note taking skills, growing a visual vocabulary that's related to the subjects that you work with. That's one of the biggest things that makes it easier to do this live in particular, being able to draw particular icons. Without having to like mentally think about the image and break it down in your mind, having things that you can draw with ease makes a huge difference when you're doing it in real time. So first, let's check out Mullane's cool breakdown here of icons. What I like about this too is for each icon that you share here, Mullane, adding potential words that relate to that icon. As I mentioned in the imagery module, one of the benefits of using imagery in general, but icons in particular, is that any individual object uh, made into an icon form can represent a number of different ideas. So I think this is a useful thing to do. Really, I guess for any icon that you develop, you might first come up with it for a specific reason, but then maybe after you have an icon, even trying to take a step back and think in a little bit broader of a context and list out the ideas or the words that could potentially be represented by that one object. Um, by doing that, it might help you to see in the future. You might not, and if you don't go through this process of coming up with multiple words for each icon, you might only think of that one icon for one specific thing. But once you do this, once you brainstorm a list like this, you might see ways to use that icon in the future that you wouldn't have seen beforehand. Um, and I'm curious to hear about what Curious Minds is. Mullane, would you be comfortable sharing a little bit about what Curious Minds is? If so, shoot a hand up. If you're unable to, or yeah, if you're not able to get on, that's cool too. All right, there's your hand. All right, Mullane, I just unmuted you, but it looks like you still need to unmute yourself.
Have to go.
There we go. Hi, Mullane, how's it
Hi,
going?
I'm good. Curious Minds is actually it's I can't remember the name of the data because I did this a course from Curious Minds a little while ago, and I can share with you the website link. So they did a course on drawing. The name of the course was Life is Your Canvas. So they encouraged the participants of the program to um, draw out ideas and draw for relaxation and just doodle for fun.
Hmm.
One of the exercises within that Life is Your Canvas course was to draw 12 or a combination of icons which I would use on a frequent basis and draw icons which could be used interchangeably. You could have one icon which could represent two or three different ideas. So I just thought I'd share this with the group so that if they want to do something similar, I don't know, I just felt that it helps. And I can always share the link to the Curious Minds course in the forum. So if anyone else is interested to take it or just have a look, um, they can feel free.
Yeah, that'd be great. Please do share that link. And I'm curious, did it sounds like the basis of that course was obviously there's some overlap there between that course and sketchnoting and visual note taking, but it also sounds like they come at the aspect of drawing and doodling from maybe a slightly different angle than we typically come at sketchnoting or graphic recording. What were there some things that came up through via that course that you haven't yet seen in any of the other resources that you've been looking at related to visual note taking?
I think their focus was on using visual note taking for self relaxation, for calming yourself and for de-stressing. So it was a, I mean, I've done visual note taking for, for sharing ideas or noting down my own thoughts and things like that, but I've never really thought about it in terms of using it for de-stressing or stuff like that. So I just thought it was an interesting concept, and hence it was free, so I just happened to enroll. So it was a really cool experience.
That's great. I like that approach too, because throughout this course that we're building here, it is, more or less a goal oriented course, right? I encourage you all to like come up with a particular goal that you have in mind for excuse me, for why you're taking your visual notes. And the examples that I give are often kind of mostly professional or personal development driven, but your goal could equally be just to relax or have a therapeutic experience. That can be your goal as well, which I think is an application that sometimes is, I guess it's easy to overlook. So it's cool that they're just to know that is also an application. And actually, for me, it's just I was thinking the other day. I st- I was not like a drawer or a doodler growing up, and I still have a little bit of tension and anxiety around drawing, and particularly even related to visual note taking, because you want it to hopefully look a certain way and serve a particular purpose and do all that. But what I'm interested in doing is coming up with some, maybe even it's just like a maybe more in-depth warm-up experience than ones we've mentioned before, or uh, find some technique for using doodling and drawing specifically for the purpose of relaxation, or I don't know, something a little more free form. I think finding some specific way of doing that, in addition to the more focused kind of professional or personal development goal driven stuff. I think for me personally, that would help balance out my approach to drawing in general, but then sketchnoting in particular. Have you found, Melaine, do you have you used sketchnoting or visual note taking as kind of more of a relaxation technique, or in kind of that type of context before?
Um, Doug, I've been drawing and doodling almost all my life, and specifically for relaxation, I think I draw and doodle a lot with my kids because
Hmm.
I think drawing and doodling comes very naturally for them. So, when I want to spend time with them and I want to just, de-stress and not think about work and not think about chores at home, I just sit with the kids and we just draw and doodle. I mean, we don't have any specific purpose in mind. It's just very free from form drawing. And I use my kids as inspiration because when I ask them to draw, they don't have any preconceived notions about drawing or what they're supposed to draw. So, they'll draw aeroplanes and cars and I don't know, clouds. So it's a lot of fun. And it's
Pick
also
it
good.
up. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah. You know how to draw cars, yeah. So yes, we use a lot of drawing and doodling for relaxation, just to have fun. Sometimes we take along a pad and paper when we are, if we're going to a restaurant and there's a wait. So how do you keep kids occupied? You give them something to draw and doodle. So we do it all the time. We don't only use it for professional or for personal development. I also use it just for fun, and just for relaxation. So yeah.
That's great. I like that. I like that. Um, cool. Anything else you'd like to share, Melaine, about these particular notes or curious minds, or icons at this point?
Yeah, just one suggestion for everyone is that I know that when I started, this very formal thing about visual note taking, I didn't know what it was. I just knew that I love to draw and I love to doodle and I loved art and I loved everything that was visual, but I had no idea that there was a thing called visual note taking and there was a thing called visual thinking till I started exploring a bit. So for those of you who are hesitant about drawing and doodling, I just wanted to suggest that it's always good to start from somewhere, even if you think you're not good enough. Um, uh, and just stop being self-critical about the way you draw, because at the end of the day, nobody's going to judge your drawings. It's about you, and it's about how good you feel about your visual thought process and about your drawings or your notes or your ideas or whatever it is that you're trying to do. So yeah, just that was just something that I got out from the Curious Minds course. So I just thought I'd share it with the group.
That's great. I love it. I know that's a message that I need to hear on a regular basis, and I think a lot of the folks taking this course will benefit from that perspective as well. So thank you, Melaine, for sharing that. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, and thank you.